he whispered with cold eyes that she wouldn't live to see the new year, but fate heard every cruel word, and when the clock struck midnight, it wasn't the wife who was gone, it was his world that began to burn. So don't blink, because what comes next will freeze your heart. Subscribe now and stay till the end, because this story is not just about revenge, it's about how miracles rise from the ashes of betrayal. The winter wind moaned outside the cracked windows of their house as Clara lay in her bed, pale and silent, her breath thin as a thread. Her husband, Victor, stood near the doorway, counting papers, not tears. In his hand was the contract the house sold for half its worth, because he believed she would not last the month. He told the bear she has no idea she's dying. I'll bury her before snow melts and be gone before the new year. His laughter echoed like something evil inside the dying home, but Clara heard everything. Her body was weak, yet her soul caught fire. She had given him 20 years, her youth, her heart, her love, and now he waited for her death like a vulture, waiting for silence. She pretended not to know her voice. Trembling, she asked him softly if he would stay till midnight on Christmas Eve. He smiled a cold smile and said, if you make it that far, Clara. She turned her face away and whispered to the empty room that she would make it further than he ever dreamed. When he left, she tried to stand but fell. She crawled toward the window. The sky was gray and heavy with snow. She prayed not to die, yet not until she saw what he had done with her love. A week passed. He packed their things and left, saying he had business in another town. She knew it was a lie. She sent for the old neighbor, Mrs. Lal, who had once been a nurse. The woman helped her drink and breathe and survive. Days turned into nights. Clara's heart was a storm of betrayal. She found the beer's number in Victor's drawer. She called him and begged for time. She said she was dying, but the man on the other end said something strange. Ma'am, your husband told me you passed away 2 weeks ago. Clara froze. Her skin turned cold. She realized Victor had already taken the money and signed her death on the paper. He wanted to bury her alive. She cried till no sound came out. That night, lightning struck near the garden and the lights went out. In that silence, Clara saw something at the edge of the bed, a shimmer, a soft glow. It looked like a figure of light. She thought she was dreaming, but the voice said, no, you are not dying, not yet, not until truth is known. Hold on, Clara. The storm outside raged harder than ever, but inside her something woke up, a strength that was not human. She stood, she walked, she felt pain, but also power. She lit a candle and saw in its flame a vision. Victor in a car, counting money, laughing with another woman. She gripped the candle tighter and whispered, he sold my life for silver, but I will buy it back with his lies. The New Year's Eve came with heavy snow. Victor returned in a black coat, his face full of fake sorrow. He opened the door to find the house dark, the bed empty. He froze for a moment, then smirked. She's gone, he whispered, but from the kitchen came the sound of a spoon falling. He turned his head and the world stopped. Clara stood there, alive, pale, but burning with strange calmness. He stepped back, unable to speak. She said in a slow voice, Victor, I heard every word, every plan, every price you put on my death. His hands shook. He tried to deny, but she kept walking closer, her eyes gleaming like the reflection of fire. She said, I signed my name today, not to death, but to justice. She reached into her pocket and threw papers on the table. They were the sale documents with his forged signature, the beard statement, and his recorded voice from the call. She had sent it all to the police before he came back. Victor's face turned white. He begged her to forgive, but she just smiled. The candlelight flickered and the clock struck 12. The door burst open. 2 officers entered and took him away, but before leaving he screamed, you were supposed to die. Clara, she looked at him and said, I did die, but the woman who stands here is the one you created. When you killed love, the storm outside stopped as if heaven itself exhaled. Months past the house was returned. To her the beer withdrew, and Clara began to recover. The doctors said it was impossible. Her lungs were too weak, yet somehow she healed. She planted roses in the garden again, and every night she sat by the window where she once prayed and thanked the unseen light that told her to live. A year later, on the same night, she heard a knock on her door. A small boy stood there holding a letter. He said it was from Victor, written in prison. The letter said, "I see you in my dreams. You glow like fire and I burn every time I wake." He begged for forgiveness, but she never answered. Instead, she went to the garden, looked up at the stars, and whispered that sometimes revenge is not in death, but in survival. The next morning, her roses bloomed bright red in the frost, as if the world itself was bowing to her pain, turning into power.